episode of Poetry and Welcome to another episode of Poetry and Yapping with your favorite tóxica, Patty. First, I want to say, on this live stream, that a lot of crazy stuff has happened in this year. There's just been a lot. But I think the craziest thing that has happened this year is getting code enforcement called on me for something I didn't do. Getting a creepy note in my mailbox for something that I don't have. So I don't own roosters. I don't own any poultry at all. I don't own even pets. I have a hard time keeping plants alive. The fact that my children are still alive has to do more with their dad than with me. So, just that being said, I have never owned or will ever own chickens or roosters or any type of poultry or probably any pets. It's so silly, right? But I don't know. So I also said that on my TikTok live. And I hope that the harassment stops, because are you accusing me of owning roosters because I'm Latina? Because there's a Peruvian sticker in my car? Is that why? Yeah, I don't know. It's not the attention I want. If I'm gonna get letters in the mail, let them be love letters, let them be poems, let them be something nice, not false accusations that might be taken as microaggressions. Because how are you sending the cops to a woman, a immigrant's house, a person that's Latina, over something they didn't do? It's just weird, really weird to me. Anyways, let me go ahead and read my little poems like I usually do. There's nobody on this live, thank God. Charity. Their used knickknacks, their used clothing, their used whatever thing is taking up too much space in their garage, or no longer fits them. They give these things to their browner and poorer counterparts. Act. Like every act of charity will get them one step closer to heaven, when at times their recipients feel like it's an act of condescension, arrogance, a way of reminding them of where they belong, of reminding them of their lesser and working class status. The haves need the have-nots to have someone to feel superior to, while the have-nots cannot escape the cycle of poverty due to the greediness of the haves. Obviously, this has to do with my working class rage. And let's go on to my next poem, which is Not Sure. This one actually was published recently in Wood Alchemy, which is great. I think this is the first of my poems that I read on here that have been published. Not sure. I'm not sure I have to work as much as I do, but I know what happens when I don't. My electric bill goes in the red. A food stamp application is filed for me and my family. I start to lose sleep over the bills and the things kids need. And when I fall into dreamland, dreams of soup kitchens, panhandling, and scarcity follow me. And I end up in the land of poverty, insanity, and hypervigilance. And I beat myself up for not doing enough to give my kids the life they deserve. I regret my life choices, especially the one where I chose a lazy baby daddy. I'm not sure I have to work as much as I do, but I will do so until my body shuts down. Who cares if my hip is broken and I barely have any time to myself? I'd rather work myself to the bone than to allow my family to fall again into being victims of poverty. So I was working at Kroger for 5 years while having another full-time job, and that was really rough. So that's what that poem was about. It's just about working class rage, literally, just being so tired. And eventually I ended up having to get hip replacement surgery. The next one is called The Me Before You. Me Before You. I found the me before you on a stage reading poetry and felt liberation from the chains of grief you left me in. I found the me before you, and I felt empowered and confident as I shared my truth that you never wanted to accept. I found the me before you among people who don't shy away from the controversial or ugly. They encouraged me, they supported me. I found the me before you, and now there's no going back to who I once was. A woman who didn't know her value and worth, a woman too scared and weak to let her art be heard and seen. I think, like, I had 3 kids. That's not the story. I think I had 3 kids, and that, and I love my children. It was hard to, and I was married too. And it was hard to be those things and work and like really put my energy into my passion, which is poetry and creative writing. And so I think this poem speaks about that. Like every time I go to a mic performance or I write a poem, it feels like I keep getting back to that self that was just so passionate in her 20s who wanted to be a writer. So I think it's a good poem. The next one is the 4th one, and it's Tia Juana's husband went out for milk, which is what really called milk. And I really am glad there's nobody watching, especially like my family. Milk. Tia Juana's husband went out for milk and never came back. No one knows why. He chose the Christmas party to leave when everyone was distracted. The women were throwing indirectas at each other. The men were drinking and telling stories of nostalgia about the homeland. The cousins were playing MTV upstairs while the little girls got their first crushes on Wham and Duran Duran. And Tia Juana's husband needed to escape. No one knows where he went. It's like he disappeared in the Bermuda Triangle, except he left his son, my newborn baby cousin Francisco, with cousin Maria, and everyone gasped at el escándalo. Tia Juana fell into a deep depression, and her breast milk almost dried up, and my cousins cried for their papi. My tias tried to console Tia Juana, tell her that he was a good-for-nothing sinvergüenza who married above his status when he married her, and my tios threatened to beat him without mercy until he saw los ojos de sus antepasados. And I hold on to my Papi, follow him everywhere he goes. Papi doesn't understand why I have such a sudden interest in him. I have always preferred Mommy, but lately I hold on to his leg and don't let go. Tia Juana's husband went out for milk one day and never came back. My mamacita and papacito move in with Tia Juana, so Tia Juana, who has never worked a day in her life, can work at a less than minimum wage paying job one of the green card holding ETS found for her. Mamacita had to begrudgingly give up her English classes to take care of Tia Juana's kids, and Tia Juana had to become the provider of her family because welfare and food stamps don't even cover half the rent. Tia Juana's husband went out for milk and never came back, and it's been a year. My cousins never talk about their Papi. Tia Juana's laughing again, and I'm back to preferring Mommy over Papi. This is based a little bit on real life and just my imagination as a child. When something similar like this happened, and it was one of my better poems that I feel I wrote. With the dysfunctional family dynamics and just like that whole vibe of like my culture and whatever. Not that my culture is abandoning children or whatnot, but I thought it was just a child's take on it per se. All right, Viva Lord. So this one's in Spanish, and then so this one is 5, and the next one is a translation of it. Viva Lord. Aunque te di lo mejor de mí, no fue suficiente para ti. Y como un cobarde corriste a los brazos de tu ex mujer. Y cuando me enteré, grité, lloré, zapateé y te corté, porque no soy una estúpida. Prefiero 1000 veces mi soledad a que me falten el respeto y que ella se quede contigo, amorcito, porque una diosa como yo sabe su valor. So, this is the translation of this poem. It's called My Worth. She doesn't hold habit you couldn't break, even after I gave you my best, even after I gave you my love. It wasn't enough for you. So like a coward, You ran to her, and when I found out, I screamed, I cried, I stomped, and cut you out of my life. She can keep you, darling. Unlike her, I'm not some stupid girl. A goddess like me knows her worth. And I feel like sometimes I don't know my worth, but, you know, like, and I think that, like, the one thing that somebody can do to me that will make me cut them out of my life completely is lie to me. Like, and then I found out later, and I feel betrayed, and I'm like, yeah, like, I wish this person the best, but I want nothing to do with them. And this one is called Deadline. We had a deadline to meet, but we're oblivious to it, and we fell into rabbit. Let me try this again. We had a deadline. We had a deadline to meet, but we're oblivious to it, and we fell into a rabbit hole of lust and insanity. And for a short time, it was nice to live in this romantic bubble of fantasy. But one day, the reality of our complex lives bursted, reminding us of our obligations and responsibilities, and the deadline loomed upon us. That's when you started to push me away and shut me out. It made me feel like I was a problem that couldn't be solved, and the deadline got closer and closer and could no longer be ignored. There would be consequences in both our worlds. People would get hurt. There would be more fights, more resentment, more hysterics from me. So as a final act of love, I left and blocked you out. It was needed to meet the deadline of our lust-filled project. I won't say who inspired this, but I wrote it several years ago, thinking about a situation. Not a situationship, it was a situation. So, yeah. Anyways, we're gonna go to By Starlight, and it is actually a romantic poem. By starlight, he sat next to, by starlight, he sat next to me, smoking his cigarette, and told me his life story. By starlight, I saw the silhouette of his muscular body as he nervously inched his way towards me. By starlight, I saw the shadow of his large hands and felt how coarse they were as he clumsily placed my hands in his. By starlight, I saw the smallest shimmerings of the stars as he pulled my hair away from my neck and tenderly kissed the nape of it, and I felt the new stirrings of new love. I love that one. It's a romantic poem. Oh, hey! Hey, Steve. My day is going really well, actually. It's been a crazy few days. But I'm good. It's good to see you. Okay. So I'll move on to the next poem. And this one's in Spanish, but I have an on translation in it for it, okay? And it's called Doll. Doll. I hope your day's going well, Steve. This one is called Muñeca. Okay. Muñeca, veo que de nuevo te ha hecho llorar, veo que de nuevo lo vas a perdonar. Ya sé, él es tu rey, él es tu mundo y no debería de meterme en tus asuntos. Pero escúchame cuando te digo, tú mereces mucho mejor que ser tratada como lo peor. Créeme cuando te digo que vales mucho más que los insultos y gritos que él te da. Ojalá que algún día descubras un amor propio tan profundo que te haga reaccionar. Ojalá que algún día te mires en el espejo y veas el tesoro inmenso que eres. Ojalá que algún día encuentres tu valentía para poder terminar con tu cuento de amor que te está matando día por día. And here's a translation. Yeah, there's some weird energy in April. I don't know what it is. So here's the translation for that poem. Doll, I see he has made you cry again, and you're going to forgive him yet again. I know, he's your king, he's your whole world. I know, I should mind my own business, but believe me when I tell you, you deserve much better than to be treated like the worst. Believe me when I tell you, you're worth more than the screams and insults he throws at you. I hope one day you discover a self-love so profound it makes you wake up. I hope one day you look in the mirror and see the epic treasure you are. I hope one day you find the courage to end your love story that's killing you day by day. A lot of women, including myself, have been through a toxic relationship that makes you feel like you can't leave. And I think I was speaking to that. I actually had a friend of mine when I wrote this. So, yeah. Alright, so this one is called Beatriz Valladares, and she is an ancestor of mine. Beatriz Valladares. I wonder how it happened, that transaction between Beatriz Papi and Luis. Did Beatriz have any say in her future betrothal? Did she have any dreams as a little girl about her future husband? Did she even love Luis or just tolerate him because it was expected of her? How did it happen? Was a dowry negotiated in a contract drawn that would seal and deliver Beatriz's fate? Did Beatriz wish for a different life for her daughter, one where they were madly in love with their husbands, one where they were treated like humans and not treated like cattle? I really like that poem. Could be revised. Okay, yeah, I hope to catch you again too. I'll try to be here tomorrow as well around the same time. And the next one is 90s Girl Lacey. 90s Girl. AOL chat rooms serve her purpose for attention and validation. Slowly, Lacey becomes a love junkie with a combination of low self-worth and mental illness. She never feels like she's enough, so she uses her beauty and her body in search of wholeness. No one thinks to stop her or monitor what she's doing online, and she acquires plenty of dates with strange men in parking lots. At 16, she feels on top of the world, sneaking hits of lust after school and on the weekends, using her friends to cover for her, never thinking of the consequences, and always living for the moment. Okay, so I'm going to read one more. And this one is sweet. It's about my son. This one is called I'll Be Here For You. No, this one's not about my son. It's about somebody else. I'll be here for you. I can see it in your eyes. At 15, you've endured more than most adults will in their lifetime. It's unfair, it's unjust, how everyone around you commends you on how well you regulate your emotions, on how impressed they are that you never cry. But there will come a day where you will land somewhere safe and soft, where you'll allow your emotions to flow, and you can be vulnerable. Some people will say you're having a breakdown, but I'll call it the beginning of your transformation that will lead you to break out of your oath of silence of your trauma. And some will criticize you and call you crazy and dramatic as you break through years of holding everything in and start sharing your story. Don't listen to them. Understand that this is one of the ways you will heal. Understand and know that I'll be here to hold your hand and guide you to help you navigate the most intense and ugly parts of your healing journey. I think I should call that healing journey instead. I don't know. Okay. Or guidance. Okay. Well, thank you so much. I think I only have one viewer, but that's fine. Anyways, that's it. Bye.